We got Ranger 10 in the house. Glad you're here. Boomer 47, Rich B, Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete says I bought another CZ. Well, we're going to get into it. We got 5 people on, 2 thumbs up. Got to get this big old drink of whiskey I've been staring at. First drink. Cheers, everyone. It is Buffalo Trace this evening again. Had to get a big old drink of that. So, and we do have something going through Texas right now that's pretty cool if y'all are in Texas. But we will get into that too. What's up, Scott? How are you, sir? Hope everyone is doing well. Get some stuff situated here. Yeah, we are going to get into the CZ Shadow Carry. So we will discuss that here in just a second. We'll let some more people jump on. I see more people jumping in. Anything exciting out there that y'all are seeing and wanting and all that good stuff? Let me know if there is. Ranger 10. It's hanging in there, man. Did go to the orthopedic today. Gave it a look over. Went to the vein doctor last week. He gave it a look over. Hadn't talked about it. Hadn't wanted to be, consumed with it or anything. But still have some blood clots, of course. But as far as the swelling, it's still a little bit, or kind of a lot in the knee and the ankle. But walking on it, putting all my weight on it, so to say, using the cane, very limited. Haven't used the walker in forever. Not even the roller walker. So everything's good, man. Or guys. Scott says, "Oh, I'm enjoying the news today. I raided a bunch. Yeah, raided a bunch of illegals on Nantucket, where all the rich liberals live." What's up, Brian? How are you, buddy? Hello, Floridian. Hope you're doing well. Scott says, "I picked up a Bull Armor EDC 4.25. Has a ridiculous trigger, 2.5 pounds, and a super short reset." Yeah, Bull Armories are nice. I mean, like I said, I think they're great guns. I mean, I've shot them. I haven't owned any, but I've shot 3 of them. These weren't any of the brand new ones. The ultralight, I've got videos on some of them. They were a buddy of mine's guns, and I really enjoyed them. They just have the proprietary mags, which aren't that big of a deal, but I'm just so invested in the other mags. So I just wouldn't want to bring 15 Bull Armory mags into the mix. And you can tell the difference the way they look at the top, but no, you got a good gun there, Scott. I think you'll be really happy with it. Yeah, and I like a light trigger. I know a lot of people don't. They give me shit about having a 1.5 pound, 2.5 pound trigger, but don't put your booger finger or your booger hook on the bang switch. Rich B says, "All the hype about the Glocks with aim point optics and the special cut has sort of died down, hasn't it?" Yes, it has. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Yes, it has died down. I mean, I still think that's a really cool Lakoa. I think that's a cool optic. I think it's a cool cut. I just, until they're released to the masses and people start adapting them, to do that milling, they won't take off. But maybe after the year contract expires with Glock, because that's what it was, 1 year with Aimpoint. So after it expires, we'll see how it goes with, other people. I like the optic, though. Scott says, "This is just a 19 or standard 1911 railgun and stainless, traded in the HKP 30 SK and a Magnum Research 1911 and a couple $100. There you go." Yeah, I was gonna say, if I ever saw a Bull Armory that was in good condition and it had optics and all that other stuff, I'd probably buy it if it was used. But yeah, I mean, I love a 1911. Hello, Dennis. Dennis, how are you? Great to see everyone. Got to get another drink, man. Whew. I've had this sitting here and it's just been, okay, can't take your first drink until you say it on the chat. And if we get any trolls in here, all my wrench holders, please take care of them. I've been giving some buddies tips on golf. So I've been a golf coach over the phone. I've got buddies that are hitting the links and friends that are getting back into golf. And they're like, hey, man, what do I need to do here? I had one guy send me a video because I said, film your swing. Let me take a look at your grip and everything. And so he sent me a video and I got him squared away. Matter of fact, he went live, what was it, 2 days ago. He was at the golf course or the driving range, at the golf course driving range. And he FaceTimed me. That's what it was. He didn't go live. He just FaceTimed me. And I said, set your, so he used the frontal camera. I said, change the frontal camera, set it up on your golf bag and set your golf bag so I can see your swing. And so I was critiquing him and telling him how to adjust his grip and everything. And hell, within about 10 minutes, we had him hitting a really nice draw. It was probably less than 10 minutes. So he was happy because he was fixing to go play. Yeah, the Staccato XCs do have a great trigger. I mean, that's the great thing about, 1911s, 2011s. You can tune them. They can come with a 4-pound trigger and you can tune it to a 1.5-pound trigger if you want. That's the great thing about 1911s and 2011s. I mean, there's a lot of adjustability there, where you can't do that on some other guns. So that's what I really, really enjoy about them too. Ranger said, had to put looking for a Shadow 2 compact while I was taking care of my dad. Back on the hunt now. There you go. That's Launch Alexander. Get him, boys. Get after him. He's a troll. But let's go ahead and get into it. The CZ Shadow 2 carry. Okay. I was eyeing it. I kind of put my hands on it really quickly one day at Texas Gun Experience, but I was like leaning on a box and holding my cane, and it was really awkward. So it was like, I had to, sorry, I was trying to read a comment, but I had to, just quickly play with it. I didn't really play with it a lot. So I was like, well, I need to come back and assess it before I order it or buy it there. So anyway, I went in this Saturday, Texas Gun Experience. Didn't shoot. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go up there, walk around, exercise, see everybody, say hi. And so that's what I did. I went up there and probably spent a couple hours. But they had the Shadow 2 Shadow 2 carry. Got it out, took it over to the glass thing where I could really, set it down, crank on it, put my normal grip on it, really assess it and not just kind of hem-haw around about it. I wanted to see how quickly I could change the mag, just see the differences in it between it and the Shadow 2 compact that I have. And guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. For me, it is a total no-go. Not because of the trigger, not because any of that. It's the freaking decockers. The decockers, just with my hand size, average people are not going to have this problem. With my hand size, it is a total no-go. With my normal grip, it's got dual decockers, so it's got ambidextrous decockers. So when you decock it, even if I decock it on this side, just say I was holding it with one hand and decocking it. When I decock it on this side, on the left side, the decocker goes down and smashes into this trigger finger, which I don't like. Also, if I put my hand on it and try to ride it, and I already know this, I didn't, I just stuck my finger up on it. I could ride it like a 2011, 1911 safety. However, you do that when you're shooting it, you're going to decock the gun. So you don't want to do that while you're shooting it or in a defensive situation. And then if I could adjust for it and take my thumb and wrap it over here, but then I'm changing my whole entire grip for one gun. And I was just like, I can't do it. And what I did is I got my normal grip on it and I hit the decocker because I could, if you want to fire it, like say I want to shoot 15 rounds or 16 rounds decocking every time, which I do with some of my other decocker guns, my PO7 and stuff, I'll decock it, shoot it, decock it while I'm holding it, decock it, shoot it, shoot it, so I can have double action every time. Just to continually practice the double action. If I did that for one, I would smash it, and I started decocking it a lot, and it was actually cutting the bottom of my finger. I'm not even joking. It was cutting it from decocking it. And then it was actually rubbing a raw spot from the other decocker into my trigger finger right here. I don't know if you can still see the spot, but anyway, I mean, I played with it for probably about 15 minutes, and I was just like, how can I make this work? How can I make this work? And I can't. So what I'll probably do is buy another Shadow 2 compact. So that way I'll have, because I like two of all the guns I really, really like, I like to have at least two of them. So the carry, just so you know, is just a no-go for me. It doesn't mean it's going to be a no-go for you. It seems perfectly adequate. It seems like a great gun. It's just those freaking dual decockers are not going to work for me. So, you know, unfortunately, I won't have that gun because I'm not going to buy it because, for one, I won't be happy with it after doing what I did. Because I really was sitting there decocking it, and the guy, you know, I know the guy at the gun store, and he was just kind of looking at me like, "What the hell are you decocking it so much?" And I was like, "I'm testing it out to see, you know." And he was like, "Okay, I get it. What's up, Trigger Bar?" Oh, also, I'm going to be on Trigger Bar's chat tomorrow night, his live chat. So please tune in over there and check out Trigger Bar. But that's the, you know, and I even thought about, and like Scott's saying, I even thought about, you know, with the palm swells on there, you know, I kind of held my hands wide just a little bit, like pretending I had palm swells on it. It's just not going to work for me. It's just really not. So I was kind of like, damn it, you know, I wanted the gun, wanted a lot. What's up, Christian Crest? How are you? Or Crest, how are you? But yeah, Shadow 2 carry is not going to work for me because of the dual decockers. And it's just a big hand problem. It's not, y'all will probably never ever have this problem, but if you got some big mitts on you, you probably need to go with the Shadow 2 or compact over the carry. But if you absolutely have to have a decocker, I could say you could get it, but you are going to have to adjust your grips for it if you've got big old meat hooks. And they're sharp. I mean, I was real surprised how sharp it was. Now, could it have been just this, you know, one of one that I was playing with? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't try two or three of them. They just had one in the case. But yeah, I was that. And man, when it comes over to the trigger finger, I'm not left-handed. I understand they have it for those people. That's cool if you're wrong-handed. But I was just like, man, I'm hitting it over here and it's smashing into this on the opposite side. I'm just like, I don't like that shit at all. And of course, you can't remove them, you can't adjust them, you can't do any of that shit because it's not a convertible like the P07 and the P09 are. So you can't go to, you know, change it to a safety. So I was just like, nah, I'm just not gonna do it. So, but I totally love the Shadow 2 compact. It's a fantastic gun, and I will probably just buy another one so that way I'll have two of them. Floridian, yeah, I've been working for a while, buddy. No, it's not a fetish, Brian. It's just I'm trying. I have people that have, you know, big hands like me, and they want to know these things. So that's why I just try to share my experiences. No, I'm not bragging about them. Trust me, I would rather have normal size hands. You know, it's not a fun thing. So. Y'all can launch the My Girlfriend one. Yep, thank you. Christian says, honestly, if I got a larger thumb safety on my Shadow 2 compact, I might consider just running it. Christian, the full-size Shadow 2 thumb rest will work in the Shadow 2 compact. So I've got those. I have an extra one that I'm probably going to put in mine just so I can have a thumb ledge. That's all I use it for. I don't run it as a safety like cocked and locked safety. I run it the normal way of just quarter cocked with the safety off. But, you know, it'll fit right in there. So, you know, if you want to run that. And I think someone told me there was someone else who made the Shadow 2 safety, the extended safety that you could buy. It wasn't CZ. Somebody said that an aftermarket company made it. I've just never tried one, so I don't know. What's up, Armsman? How are you? Yep, well, we have seen some hail. Um, the original safety is anemic. Well, and the reason, Christian, they made it that way is because a true CZ is designed to not use the safety. You don't flip it on at all. You just do your trigger, put it to the quarter cocked position, and leave the safety off. And that is the way you truly carry a CZ75B. That's the real way to carry it. But I know so many people are used to the 1911 cocked and locked, and you can carry it that way. But I have, but I usually 99% of the time carry it in the quarter cocked with the safety off. So let's see here. Let me try to find here. 17 shoe. You sound like my son-in-law. He got some big old feet. Also, just so y'all know, did want to share this. Texas did pass the SB 1596, and it's a bill that nullifies enforcement of unconstitutional NFA SBR regulations in Texas. Okay, so it's passed. It's headed to the governor's office to be signed, but it will help set a stage for, kind of the nationwide repeal of the NFA or SBR rule. So basically, if you really read it, all it's doing is it's nullifying the enforcement. So probably doesn't mean you can't get in trouble for having one, but the enforcement of like them helping the ATF and stuff like that. But anyway, so that has been passed and it is headed to the governor's desk. So that's cool. I mean, that Texas is doing something like that. So, and if we get the HPA, Hearing Protection Act, that would be cool. It still has to go through the Senate. So who knows? They're all on the take. So hopefully it does. But, I guess we'll all have to wait and see. Hello, George. How are you? George MK is in the house. Glad to see you healthy and happy. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Christian says, recently put my PO9C Nocturne into my carry rotation. Yeah, I mean, they're great guns. PO7's a really good gun, too. Oh, man, that's funny. Tom Cruise developing a Les Grossman. I remember that. That was a good part. And supposedly that was all ad-libbed when he did that. Floridian says, my new home, I have a natural gas line for a grill. Is it worth doing that route? If you've got it, I say go ahead and hook one up. I'm a big wood or lump charcoal or charcoal guy. But, if you just want to sear a steak real quick or something like that, cook something quick, you can go for it. I don't really like the propane type grills or, gas grills. But, like I said, I've had them in the past. And, you can go throw some steaks on them or cook something quick, burgers or something like that, where you don't have to like cook heat up the chimney for the charcoal and all that stuff. So, I mean, if you've got the hookup for it, why not have one? Cautiously optimistic about the HPA. Yeah, I agree with you, Christian. We'll see. I'm not a Kingsford fan, Pistol Pete. I am not. I am not a Kingsford fan at all. There's a lot of charcoal that I will not use. If you really, really look at the ingredients in it, it's not good. There's some that actually has bleach in the charcoal. So you really got to watch it, and it'll say natural, and then you start reading it, and there's no hardwood in it. It's fillers, sawdust, and there are a lot of chemicals in it. So I stay with B&B. There's no chemicals in it. I'm a big B&B fan. There's others out there, but you really got to watch your charcoal. So, because I'm just a purist, and a lot of people we'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's going to burn off. But I can taste some of that stuff. I'm just real picky. But and Kingsford claims to have one now that has real hardwood and no chemicals. I haven't tried it. I haven't read it though. Boomer says, anybody got arthritis in their shooting hand besides me? I'm learning to shoot with my middle finger. It's that or stop shooting, and that is not an option. Yes. Um, yeah, it is. Arthritis is a real thing. So I can definitely relate with you, Boomer. Yep. And you just have to adapt. I mean, that's what I tell everybody, do what you can do. What's up, Rabbi? How are you? Well, Rabbi's going to become the pro golfer. He's got to hook up. You'll have to convert the grill to be natural gas, yeah. What's up, Pranic? How are you, man? Kingsford. Hello, Clyde. How are you? I cooked with gas in the house. Nothing like a steak cooked in a cast iron skillet. Yeah, I'll do that. I do cook in a cast iron skillet. And I've cooked plenty of steaks in there. Butter, some thyme, rosemary. Yeah, it's good to go. And if you really want to finish it, you can get it where you want it, and then throw the whole cast iron with the steak and everything in the oven too. Yeah, you got to be careful with the charcoal. Just definitely read about it. 4. Let me catch back up here. Lowenbrow, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump over on the questions. So yeah, like I said, the Shadow 2 carry is just going to be a no-go for me. Do I recommend it for others? Yeah, I think it'd be a great gun. You can tell the difference in the trigger versus the compact with the decocker and the firing pin block. It's not bad. It's not that bad of a difference, but you can tell. But it's still a nice trigger. It's just not as nice as the regular compact, but still a perfectly serviceable, good trigger. And if you're worried about it, you've got the firing pin block, so, and the decocker, if that's a concern to you. So that is what that gun brings to you. But anything with a decocker and a firing pin block, it's not going to be as good of a trigger. I think a lot of people get wrapped around that pretty bad, especially in the 1911. Well, if they don't know 1911s or 2011s, they really, really, really get wrapped around no firing pin block. But on a 1911 and a 2011, the gun has to be dropped muzzle down for it to go off. If it drops on the back, it's not going to go off. It has to be muzzled down for it to go off because there's no firing pin block. Well, if it does that, where's the bullet going? Unless you drop it right on your toe, it's going to the ground. So, there you go. Yeah, y'all get it if there's trolls. Let them have it. Any changes now with ammunition prices since the new administration? I still see really good prices, online in some of the box stores. It's better than it was, but it's not like earth shattering. But you can find some good deals online if you look around. But there you go. Let's see here. Rich B says, so I switched my nocturne to safety versus the decocker. The trigger would improve. Yes, it will improve. One of my PO7s has the safety. One has the decocker. One of my PO9s has the safety. The other PO9 has the decocker. Do you guys know that Academy and Dick's are owned by the same corporation? I didn't know that. I don't really shop at either one of those anymore. I don't go into Dick's at all. At all. Pranic says, I saw a CCI Blazer Brass 9mm for $12.99 at Academy. That's not horrible. Yeah, and a lot of people that, since they come with the decockers on the PO7s and PO9s, a lot of people just keep them that way. And Walmart. I haven't shopped ammo prices at Walmart in forever. Is it any good? Or do they have decent prices now? Real steel pistols over the polymer wonders, yeah. Tupperware guns. Yeah. Oh, I meant to tell y'all this. I won't tell you the name of the company because, like I said, I don't want to. I don't want them. I don't want y'all to call them or reach out to them or any of that. But I reached out to a gun company. I was like, hey, I'm interested in testing out your gun. Blah blah blah. So I filled out their little thing and not saying they were going to give me the gun, but I was interested in testing it out. And if they were like, hey, if you like it, you can buy it. Blah blah blah. If you don't, send it back. If that would have been the case, that's cool. But anyway, so I reached out to them and they sent me a message back and said, oh, sorry, we only work with people with at least 50,000 subscribers. I was like, okay. And it didn't say, hey, here's a discount code, if you want to buy one. It just said, we can sell you one through us, or you can buy it through a distributor. And I was like, gee, thanks. So, because it was a gun I was kind of interested in, it wasn't a super high dollar, fancy gun, but I was just kind of like, in my mind, I'm kind of like, dude, your gun's really not that expensive, but I understand companies have their parameters. I understand that. So, I was just like, okay, cool, thanks, appreciate you getting back with me. But I just thought, oh, that's kind of funny. But then again, with the economy and the way, gun companies are struggling right now with prices, maybe that's just what they've said. Maybe because a long time ago, maybe they were working with a bunch of different people. But I was just going to check it out and give my honest opinion on it. Or I'll just tell you, it was a double stack. It was a double stack 9mm, and I was wondering if they also looked at my channel, because I did say that I wanted to compare it to some of my 2011s, and this was not a high-end 2011, but I'm wondering if they looked at my channel and saw that I had some high-end 2011s and were like, oh, we don't want to try to hang with those. He might blast us. So I'm not saying they would say that. I don't know. I'm not speaking for them. I'm just wondering if, because I would have given you all an honest opinion, but then again, you can't compare a freaking Ford Pinto to a Porsche, and I'm not saying it was that bad. It wasn't. It was just a less expensive 2011. Christian said, had a company put in an order to send me a pistol to review over a year ago, never received it. Yeah. I mean, I can see people doing that, so. Oh, also a budget-friendly DS 9mm 1911. Gotcha. Yeah, Rabbi says 36 people. According to his count, I show 37 people and 14 thumbs up. I guess Armsman's showing 38, so I'm showing 37, but whatever. But yeah, Young smashed that thumbs up. Oh, we got 15. But yeah, and I went around Texas Gun Experience and I was looking around, and I was like, man, is there anything else? Is there anything else, that really caught my fancy? And I mean, there were a lot of used SIGs for sale in their used gun case, which, I understand. They also had some older Glocks, like 40 calibers and, stuff like that they were selling used. They did have, they had a really nice HK USP 9mm compact. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And it was clean. Man, it looked really nice. But they were wanting $850 for that gun. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that is crazy. Way too expensive. Rabbi says, I want an AR pistol and 10mm for home defense. Nothing on the shelves that isn't over $1,200. Yeah, I mean, You know, they're doesn't the Strybog have one? I can't remember if they have a 10 millimeter or not. I can't remember. Christian says, I'm in a firearm review drought at this time or this point. Have no clue what I'm trying out next. Yeah, I mean, that's me. You know, there's nothing super exciting that's out there right now that I'm just like, oh my God, I got to have this. Yeah, Strybog has a 10 millimeter, CMMG has a 10 millimeter. Okay. There you go, Rabbi. You could try those two. There's really nothing I'm like, oh my God, I got to have that. Um, it's just nothing that's, blowing my dress up, so to say, that I'm super excited about right at this second. So, there are some other accessories that I'm, uh, kind of looking at that I might get. Um, I do have something coming in on Saturday. It's from a company that I work with. So I'll have that on Saturday. So I'm going to test that out. I think, and I was waiting for him to get this. He had the two other versions, and I'm like, you need to do a version like this. And he said, I'm already doing it, waiting for it to be done, blah, blah, blah. So I'll have it. He's already shipped it. So I'll have it on Saturday, and I'm kind of excited about it. It's these things you don't think about. It's not expensive, but it seems very useful to me. So I'm excited about, trying it out. But limited capacity 10 millimeter ARs, more than 15 rounds. Yeah. I know Smith and Wesson because Trigger Bar has one. He's got that 10 millimeter Smith and Wesson, but it's a 16-inch. But I have PCCs, not in 10 millimeter, but I've got PCCs, and they're cool and everything. But I think they're great if you have a younger person or maybe for a woman in the home, to be able to handle those and not have quite the pop, the loudness of an AR-15. Of course, the 300 Blackout's way quiet with a can. AR-15's still loud with a can. I don't care what you do, but they're fun. Yeah, and like I said, the 10 millimeter Smith and Wesson's cool. I think it's a great option. The way it's set up seems to work pretty well. I just still, I don't know. I know you're going to get some velocity with that thing too, having a 16-inch barrel, but I would want something a little smaller. And I would choose, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I would prefer a rifle round over a pistol round, so, like a 300 Blackout. But that's, just, I'm a 300 Blackout nerd. I like it. Rabbi said that's how it starts. Filming your swing. Next is filming your wife in the shower. Yeah. Yeah, you do need to film your swing. Oh, yeah. I was talking about that earlier, helping some buddies with golf. Because, Rabbi, you're not the only one that's reached out to me. I've got another buddy that's reached out, and he's like, hey, so we did a FaceTime. I forgot to tell you, we did a FaceTime with him the other day, and he was at the range and wanted me to set him up for a draw because he was hitting a slice. Clyde is saying, rather do a 300 than a 10 millimeter on an AR. Yeah, that's me too. Trigger Bar says FRTs are the bomb. Lever action and 460. There you go. Trigger Bar says cleaning my 8-inch 300 Blackout Jackal as we speak. There you go. Brian says 300 Blackout with discrete ballistic subs are the perfect home defense caliber and cartridge. Ranger says, oh shit, Scott, I would mortgage my house for one of those. Yeah. Your mods are killing it. Yeah, I appreciate all the wrenches, man. Y'all are definitely getting after them. But yeah, and what's funny is helping people with all these golf tips has really made me like want to play. I mean, I've got 2 sets of clubs over there, plus a ton of putters. But, you know, of course I can't play with my knee right now, but Atlas Titan would be fun, yeah. Atlas are nice guns. I mean, I've shot, they weren't mine, but I've got videos of where I shot Jacobs. He had like 4 of them. And they are really nice guns. But, and that was, you know, we've talked about that before, but that was one of the things that I tested for me on that particular day with that particular ammo at the same distance, same range, all that stuff, the exact same time. Would the Atlas outshoot my MPA in my hand? No. Um, you know, but on a particular day or whatever, would it outshoot it? Maybe. But for me, I'm not saying it's diminishing returns because I know they're great guns, but maybe at my level, you know, I mean, my MPAs are great. They're my most accurate 2011s. Trigger bar says, remember on the phone to give thumbs up. It's hidden under 3 dots, top right corner. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, we got 31 people in here and 21 thumbs up. Instant banhammer. Is that what it does? Does it show throw up a hammer? I've never seen it, so I don't know. Oh, and also Pranic, I've got to have my wife pull that other box for you. But what I'll probably do is just go through some of that other stuff and then pulling, you know, just add to it. So when I give it to you, we'll have some stuff in there for you. Is the Pistol Pete saying, is the MPA your most accurate shooter in your hands? I would say it probably is. It does have a 2.5 pound trigger. It's a 5-inch gun. It's not light. It's a steel grip or aluminum grip, so it's a heavy gun. You know, I shoot it very good, very accurate. That is probably my most accurate pistol. Not that I'm an accuracy guru. I like to shoot fast, and I can't, you know, when I shoot as fast as I do, I'm not a hole-in-hole shooter. I'm not really a bullseye shooter. That's not my go-to. But you know, that is probably my most accurate. And I had the TSO, and I did a video on it. My 2011s were, I mean, the TSO is super accurate. It's a great gun. But when you're dealing with a hinged trigger, now it was a super light trigger. It was 1 pound 9 ounces on my particular TSO, but it's a hinged trigger. So a hinge trigger is not as consistent as a straight back trigger for a lot of people. Not saying it's a bad trigger. It's a fabulous trigger in the TSO. But I probably did shoot my, and also and this is one thing that made me get rid of it. The TSO is for one thing. I mean, like bullseye shooting or target shooting or whatever, where 2011s can serve different roles. You can do them for home defense, you know, carry them if you want to, you know, target, tactical, whatever you want to do it. You know, it covers more of a gamut. Put a flashlight on it. You can't put a flashlight on TSO. So I was just like, not that it's a one-hit wonder because it was a fabulous gun, but I was just like, I just don't shoot it. I shoot all my 2011s, so that's one reason I got rid of it. Trigger bar saying we have the 75, P01, P09, P07, P10, 97B. What other CZs you have, Big J? I've got doubles of a lot of those. Shadow 2, Shadow 2 Compact. What else? At one time I had 4 Shadow 2 full size. I don't have those anymore. Oh, what else do I have? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Oh, I've got the P10F. I've got 3 P10Cs. So, yeah, I got a bunch of CZs. Yeah, TSO is a great gun. Clyde has a 10-inch 300 blackout. Is it practical to go 5 or 8-inch unsuppressed? Thought about going smaller for travel. You could. I mean, I wouldn't go 5. I just wouldn't go that short. um, I would say probably 8 would be the minimum, but you know, I've got bigger hands, so I like a little more rail. The smallest I'll go is a 10.5, but I think you'd be fine with an 8. I just wouldn't go to a 5. What's up, Harry Solsters? How are you? Harry says, when are you going to make the Bren 10 in Texas? You can sell your staccatos them. Yeah. Yeah, no, Pranic, I know. I just didn't. I had the TSO. Yeah, I didn't have the TS2. Yeah, TSO is a great gun. A lot of them I had too many of. Oh yeah, and I've got Pistol Pete's right. I've got the Tanfo stock 2. A lot of people compare it to the Shadow 2. It's similar. It's just not ACZ. Gano, hello. Harry Silster says you need a real Texas-made CZ. Yeah, I don't think they'll. It's not like they're going to make me one though. Yeah, 8-inch 300 blackout is the sweet spot unless you're running a can and really need short. I just wouldn't go below an 8. I've shot it. What was it, a 7? And I was like, man, this thing's miserable. I mean, for me. Jacob liked it, but and he was a big guy too. That's what I was like, dude. And he was like freaking mag holding it, you know. And I was like, I didn't like that. It's just me says, did you know that the CZ Shadow 2 can be converted to single action only by just taking out the decocker and adding an extended safety? Yes. It's one gun can be shot in 4 divisions. Yep, I do know that. But I'm the purist. If it comes single action, double action, I'm going to keep it that way. They do offer a single action version, but I have 2011s for that. So that's why I keep mine DASA. Now, my triggers are really nice in the double action, single action. I've got kits on them. But, you know, like I said, people can do whatever they want. Hell. But if it comes double action, single action, I do like to keep it. That's just the purist, the CZ purist in me. I do like to keep them that way. And I'll tell you, that 97B with the trigger kit in it, it's pretty freaking awesome. I mean, the matter of fact, I've got the trigger where I trigger tested it right here. I've got the on the 97B, the single action is 2 pounds 13 ounces for the single action, and the double action is 6 pounds 3.1 ounces. So that's what it pulls at right now. It's an incredible trigger. Impact Machine did a hell of a job on that gun. That thing is awesome, and it's in 45, 230 grains of hate. What's up, Turkey's Opinion? How are you? Speaking of trolls, let me catch back up here real quick. Yeah, they are hard to come by. Any luck convincing Link's Defense to make the silencer case pouch? Well, they do make a silencer, you know, cover, or you can put it in there. But my silencer, my Trash Panda is too big for it. I have one, but it's not big enough to put it down in there. Damn, that went fast. Man, you got to have your AARP card when you shoot a 45. And you know why they have a 45? Because they don't make a 46. Pranic, no. He's asking if a Ford Fox body with an LS engine crossing the line in your head. Hell no. Nope. I know many people that have done it. I even helped a buddy do it. He's got 3 Fox bodies. and we did put an LS in one of them, and nope, not a bad thing. Matter of fact, man, there's all kinds of Ford guys that are running Mopar engines. I mean, Chevy guys run Ford engines. I mean, you do what you want to do. I mean, we call them Franken builds. I mean, there is no, you know, there is no set thing you have to do. But no, LS, man, they make great engines. There's a couple of models that aren't, they got LS3s, LS6s. Some of the LSs, there's other LSs that are better than some other LSs. But no, LS is a great engine. Matter of fact, I was telling Harry this week, I had the opportunity to buy two vehicles. One was a Toyota 4Runner. It was a V6 with a blown head gasket. It was traded in, and a buddy of mine, I went to high school with him, he's a used car manager at a dealership, and he reached out to me. He had that and an old straight 4.0 Jeep Cherokee, the baby Cherokee. And I could buy both of these like really, really cheap. But with the 4Runner, what was it, a 2000? Shit, I've got them written down in my truck. The 2009? I can't remember. But anyway, I was thinking about it because the price, I'm just like, damn, I could fix them up. But right now I can't fix up shit, with physically doing it myself. I'd have to pull the engine out because it could have washed the block. Since it blew the head gasket, I could be looking at bearings. I could be looking at a long block. I don't know. But the price is pretty unbelievable. The vehicle itself is really, really nice. It just has, the head gasket. But, you can be looking at radiators, long blocks, heads, bent valves. Sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into until you pull the head. Rabbi says, these are not masterclass trolls. They are the product of public education and single mothers, probably. Rabbi says, the guy at my track had an LS swapped Miata. It was quick, but nothing I'd want. Man, I've sat in Miatas. They're freaking tiny. My head sticks above the windshield. They're not comfortable. But if you're wanting a cheap SCCA car, those fit the bill. But yeah, I'm not much on their factory engines at all. Turkey's Opinion says, so Big J, I've been meaning to ask, what should be a great light for my SIG 1911X? Gonna put the 2 MOA dot with a circle on it. What would be a great light? A Surefire X300 is a great light. The Streamlight TLR1, you can't go wrong with those for the price. They're great lights. I'm not an O-light fan. And if y'all like them, that's cool. In the new Surefire, the new Streamlight, HLX, TLR1 HLX is a nice light too. It just really depends on, I like the longer lights. A light that is really underrated, that a lot of people don't give a lot of credit, is the Streamlight TLR9. I really, really like that light. And on 2011, man, it's the perfect light for that. It's narrow body. It's 1,000 lumens. Candela's not super, super crazy, but it's a bright light. I actually like it. I like the TLR9 better than the old TLR1. And I've got it on my, if you want to see what it looks like, Turkey, you can look at my MPA video, my 5-inch MPA 2011. And it's got the TLR9 on there. I love the rear switches. And it's perfectly made for a 5-inch 1911, 2011. I think that's the best looking light on one of those. My Chevette is fast. Yeah, I went to a guy with high school. He had a Ford Pinto, and we put a 302 Boss in it. And it's freaking crazy. That thing was fast as shit. Taylor said, did you do the tour with Nighthawk or Wilson Combat yet? Can't remember if that's scheduled before or after your accident. No, it was, I was setting it up before. my accident, but I have not done it. But I can get with them at a different time because Arkansas is my area too, so I can get with them at a different time and set that up. Yeah, I saw that, Scott. Toyota is working on a small pickup to compete with the Ford Maverick. Yep, they've been talking about it for a while. There are some new vehicles coming out. I can't talk about them, but there are some new vehicles coming out. And y'all might already know this, but Mopar is bringing back the True Hemi. So it should be the end of 2025. So they are bringing it back. They also canceled the stupid EV Charger. It's nixed, it's gone. So that thing's history down the road motors. So they officially canceled it. They're not making any more. Trigger Bar said that's the light, Big J. Okay, cool. Armsman saying the TLR9 is nice light on the 5-inch models. Yeah, I've got the X300 Turbo and the X300s. The Turbo's awesome. It's just a wider body. But I just think the cleanest on a 1911 or 2011 is the TLR9. Toyota should stick with reliability and economy. Yeah. Rawhead Rex saying, what do you think about suppressors? Can you give me 3 reasons to buy one? If you shoot 300 blackout, it is very quiet. On a 22, it's super quiet, super fun, protects your hearing. You can take them across state lines. Great for hunting, because it doesn't scare off the other game. And it's America, so why not? I think it's stupid that we have to spend $200 for a freaking muffler. That's all it is a gun muffler. There's other reasons too. Subaru Brat, man, I remember those. Yeah. Yeah, they are, Scott. They are. It's a high output. So, yeah, they're having to work on it. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a major, major recall with GM and their engines. Not good. Not good at all. Y'all can look it up. I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, not good. Stellantis sucks. Yep. It depends on which model you buy and the way they're set up, the way they're geared. Hell, my Ram runs like a scalded dog. It's got a lot of miles on it. I've never had, knock on wood, I haven't had anything major happen to it. And I, did a lot of the upgrades myself, but so it's not all 100% stock. No problem, Rawhead. Oh, helps medicate recoil, yeah. Jeff Clement says CZ75B or 75B Omega. Out of those two, I prefer the Omega because I like the longer trigger. I don't like the little hooked trigger. I'm just not a fan of that. However, you can get the standard one, the non-Omega, and you can put a flatter trigger in it. Cajun Gun Works makes a kit for it, so there are more upgrades as far as the trigger for the standard 75B, where there's not for the Omega. So much more ability to make it like you want versus the Omega. Hugo can say plastic, yeah. And what's crazy is overseas, I never understood this. Overseas, basically, you buy a gun, you pretty much get a suppressor, and you walk out the door with it, or you have to keep it at some of the clubs, but it's pretty much a given. Let's see. I had the 6.4 Hemi. Well, that's kind of the first problem, just to be honest with you, in your 2500 truck. If it was a 2500, I can't remember. Yeah, the 6.4 Hemi. I would have got the Cummins in that, but 50,000 miles and had the Hemi tick. Hemi tick's normal. I've got it in mine too. It doesn't hurt a damn thing. Turn up the radio. There's other noises. Hell, a 5.3 Chevy. It's got a tick too. They've had them for 1,000 years. But it's a hemispherical engine too. I don't know if you understand, Rabbi, but it's a hemispherical piston. That is another reason it does the tick. A lot of people don't know that, but they're kind of known for that. 75B, you can always change the 85 combat trigger. Yep, that's kind of what I was saying. Pistol Pete says you get the SPO1 Tactical over both of those. Yeah, I mean, the SPO1 is a really nice gun. Let's see, CVT. Raccoon Man says got a C5 Corvette. That's cool. And the Taco's trying to make a CERN. They do shit in the bed. There's a lot of vehicles that got rid of dipsticks. I don't know. They took out the tranny dipsticks. Hell, there's even some that you have to go by your oil light. You can't even pull the freaking dipstick on some of the oils. Now, it's mostly the Europeans models, but, yeah, semi-hemispherical, yes. Yeah, not the old true. Yes, you're correct. Not the old originals. I'm also thinking about the old Hemis. Yeah, 2014 Silverado 6-cylinder. Yeah, there's a lot of them that tick. I don't really mess with it, or I don't really worry about stuff like that. Jacksonville, Mississippi. They borrowed it from you, huh? I love dipsticks. I'm a dipstick. But anything else exciting? Again, like I said, I'm not trying to knock the CZ Shadow carry. Just for me, it's not going to work because of the dual decockers. But for the average person, it's probably going to be a great gun. So if you're looking at it, I highly recommend the gun. If your hands fit on it properly and it works for you and you don't have to adjust and manipulate your grip for one gun, I say get it. Yep, searching for your dipstick and your beamer. When am I buying a Korth? Man, the Korth I want, they have them at Texas Gun Experience. They've got about 8 of them now. Man, they're sweet. I think the one that I want is like $6,200 though. 62 or $6,500. And I just look at it and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's a freaking revolver. And it's a cool revolver, but I'm like, man. If I was gonna buy a revolver, I would definitely get a Korth. They're freaking sweet. With Neil grips, yeah, they've got some pretty cool. They got a lot of wood grains and stuff like that, but I'm not a huge wood grain or wood grip guy. But like I said, I think they are cool. Pocket change, yeah. No, I'm not opposed to spending that much on a gun, and it's a really cool revolver. But at the end of the day, I own revolvers now and don't shoot them. I really don't shoot them. They just sit there. Happy Wednesday, Daniel Berry. P320 still cheap with 5 mags rebate. Yep, they just sit there. Big pockets for big hands. Korth wood grips do not fit me well. Gotta go Hogue. Yeah, and Hogue's been in the business forever. I have a set of Hogue grips somewhere, but I did put the wood ones back on my revolvers because I had to get the Hogue. What did I put the Hogue on? I think I put the Hogue on the 38 to make it a little bigger. but then I went back with the factory ones. Damn, I got 3 rabbits in my backyard. Need to break out the old rifle-roo. Sig needs to add something else to the mix, Legion cookies or something. Oh man, your Legion challenge coin. There you go. Damn, must have a family of rabbits in my backyard. Holy crap. Yeah, looks like a daddy and a mama and some babies. They brought the whole family back here. We got St. Augustine, so they're probably back there eating all my damn grass. That TLR9 does look like it's made for 1911. It is. Matter of fact, when I talked to Streamlight, when they sent me that light way back in the day, I was like, if you ever have somebody that needs a 19 or wants a light for a 1911 or 2011, I mean, this thing fits perfectly. And they were like, oh, good to know, because I don't think most people have Glocks and, the police departments they run with and all that stuff. So I was just talking to my person there and been like, it's a great light. I love it. And the push buttons are super nice. They're not like the TLR1 switches. I love the buttons. Thanks, Rabbi. Hit them straight, man. But it is 8:01. If y'all, we can go another 10 minutes if y'all want or whatever. If y'all got some other stuff to talk about, or we can shut it down. Y'all can let me know. Also, I will be on Trigger Bar's chat tomorrow night. So tune in for that. Make sure you're subbed to Trigger Bar. And I don't know what we're going to discuss, but it should be a fun time. I always enjoy talking to him. We chat quite a bit. There's a lot of people on here that I chat with, hell, quite a bit every week. I talked to the Armsman today. I talked to Harry today. Text Trigger Bar quite a bit. So it's a good community we have here. Very good community. Trying to think, there was something else. I probably will go look at that Cherokee and that Toyota 4Runner just to see. He still has them. I checked with him yesterday and he still had them. He was going to send them off to wholesale. So I might look at them and see if it's worth buying and just setting aside. Because, man, I could jack that Cherokee up. I mean, I could fix that Toyota up and sell it. Or if I fit it, I might keep it and jack it up too. Who knows? Pistol Pete, I've got it written down in the truck. I want to say it's like a 2000, God, what was it? 2009 or 2012? I don't remember. I know it's under a 2016. And the Cherokee's an old one. It was I think it was an 89. But I can get them for really, really good prices for both of these. I mean, really good. But I went to high school with the sales manager, so he's just doing that for me. Clyde says 6.5 Creedmoor is more of a precision round, where 308 is a true battle round. Correct, pretty much. 6.5 is farther distance, flatter shooter, less recoil. 308 is more of a hammer, especially up close. That's kind of the way I look at it. If I was going to shoot like 600 yards all the time, I'd probably take the 6.5, but I'm not going to do that. So unless you jack up the 4Runner and roll it over. Yeah, they are nearly indestructible, but they did have an issue back in the day with some of the head gaskets blowing. This was on, I think it's that year model that I'm talking about, or that generation. And a lot of them were redone with the upgraded, but this could be one that was not upgraded. They even had a recall on them way back in the day. But like I said, you know, when you get into that, you can have a block washed. You can have rods that are bent. You can have bearings that are shot. And then you're looking at a long block. So it could be a really, really good deal, what I would pay for it. But that's not being able to pull the heads and see where I am with it. Um, you know, so it's kind of a gamble. I don't know if I really want to jump into that. I mean, right now. Any other time, yeah, no big deal. Yank the engine out, bring it home, rebuild it, throw it back in. Yeah, I think this is an 89 Cherokee, I think is what it is. Clint says, I've driven a 1990 Cherokee for years as my work commuter. They're great little rigs, just don't make a lot of power. Yeah, they don't make a lot of power. And they had a valve cover leakage problem, but if you put the upgraded valve cover on it, you know, and hell, it's super easy to do that. It takes like 10 minutes. So I dislike turbo 4 cylinders. Scott said I had a boss that would buy the Tacomas that had the frame rod issue. I had Toyota put a new frame under it and then flipped them. Yeah. Clyde said you talked a while back about a 12.5 308. Did you build it yourself or buy it straight out? No, I bought it straight out. It's a POF Rogue. That's what it's called, POF Rogue 12.5. So it came that way. Yeah, I mean, Cherokees are super easy to work on. You can do anything with those. Super easy to work on. Crop worthy. Yeah, and like I said, I'll probably just go look at them. Probably look at them tomorrow. I've got PT in the morning, so I might just run by there after PT and take a quick look at them just to see. I'm a supercharger guy personally. Turbos, well, put it this way, the older turbos had a lot of turbo lag, which I didn't like. You know, so I always liked superchargers. And again, you can make great power with both. It's just whatever you like. Oh yeah, shit! I had a '86 4Runner. I think it was '86 with a 22 RE. You know, where you could remove the top off the back of it. And man, I should have kept that thing. I was a dumbass for selling it. But it was a young high school kid that was about to start high school, and his dad and him stopped me. Where was I? At a gas station, and they were throwing a fit over it. It was white with a white top. I had put wheels on it, lifted it, and the engine is a turd. It's slow as shit. But I mean, damn things run forever. And the kid started crying that he wanted my truck to be his first truck. So, and I had other vehicles, so I sold it, and I wish I wouldn't have. Yeah, all the Toyotas are overpriced. How's a 308 pistol without a can? I mean, hell, I've shot it with a can, without a can. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's loud as shit. I've got a video of it shooting it indoor. That's the one I call the thumper. You can go look at the video. It's friggin' loud. When I was shooting it in the 50-yard range, I did it when I was in there by myself on purpose. I made sure no one was in there, and shot it without a can. And I was in the back VIP area, and I had people from the retail Texas Gun Experience coming back there to see what the hell that thing was. And they were looking through the glass just going, holy shit. I mean, it's freaking loud. Now outside, it's not as loud. This was indoors. And you put a can on it, it's quieter, but it's not 300 blackout quiet with subs. But yeah, it's definitely quieter. Yeah, I sold the 22 RE. I sold that 4Runner for a good price, but I'd put some money into it. I had a front bumper on it, a tubed front bumper, tubed rear bumper, rims, bigger tires, shocks, lift kit. Not a huge lift kit, and it was really nice on the inside. That thing was really nice. It didn't look old. This was very well taken care of. Yeah, the thing on the Cherokee, Clint, what you can do is you can unbolt the seat, literally off the floor, I can move it back and rebolt it, and I can weld some brackets underneath. Um, I did that to an old Cherokee that I had. It was just a junker. So yeah, I completely remounted the seat. So I moved it kind of in the back seat a little bit. But yeah, they're tight. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Plus, when your legs sway out, it's pretty tight that way too. And that's what I was even thinking about for the Forerunner. It might be a pretty tight fit there too. Hopefully this beauty of a bill gets passed and signed already, getting another safe just for suppressors. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. No, I think hopefully, like I said, I don't know, man. We've been pushing for this forever, so I don't know. I know there's going to be you know, some sellouts. So, on both sides. I mean, so because we've got the Senate and the House, we've got Alaska. I mean, we got some traitors. So, but anyway, integrated suppressors, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. I wonder if this bill gets passed, how long for an effective date? Shoot, I don't know. I guess after he signs it, I don't know if it's immediate or like the next 30-day calendar. I don't know how they're going to do that. Hopefully it's quick if it does pass. I'm hoping for it, but like I said, I get people reach out to me all the time. Oh my gosh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I said, man, I do not count my chickens until they're officially hatched. I don't get all prepped up and jumping through hoops and all that crap. Floridian said had 2 Cherokees, both had transmission problems. Yeah, depending on which transmissions you have, that it can be an issue, and rear ends too. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll run them in the mud, and the transmission. There's a transmission sensor that screws right in the side of the transmission. The O-ring goes bad, and then it lets moisture into the transmission and takes out the transmission. So, and it's a freaking O-ring. It's like a 50-cent O-ring that can save a transmission on a Cherokee. So that's a pretty common problem. They'll drip a little bit of transmission fluid. Then as you're driving and it's moving, it sucks water right into it. So if you go in and pull the sensor out, put the O-ring on it, screw it right back in, before you go off in the water, you won't have those problems usually. But anyway, yeah, it is about 8:12. We'll go ahead and shut this bad boy down. Again, I will be on Trigger Bar's chat tomorrow night, so please tune in to him. We should be talking about some fun stuff. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I'm kind of glad it's a surprise. I don't like prepping for things. I just kind of like talking off the cuff. Makes it a little more fun for me, hopefully for y'all as well, but that should be a good time. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like we're saying now, please, if you haven't reached out to a family member or talked to them in a while, please do. Matter of fact, I'm fixing to call one right after this and check in on them. But let them know you love them, let them know you're thinking about them. And of course, friends, family, anybody reach out to them. We all want to make sure everyone's okay. But I appreciate y'all as always. Remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate y'all. Take care.